What is cool? What does cool look like anymore? Does
Me.
cool look like little Crocs and one headphone?
Yeah.
Is that what cool is?
Well, I'm the youngest one
hell.
out of us three, so I'm obviously the coolest.
Yeah, and you dress like the fucking oldest.
Oh. Sorry, Mohammed.
You dress like someone's fucking beat you up and rolled you through a Sports Direct. Fucking hell.
I can't believe Chris has still got turn-ups on his arms, though. But
Mate,
stitched.
I'm at the age where
Top man, top liner.
I have to go for
Large boys.
plain shorts, plain colours, you know.
Like your personality.
Yeah, just fuck it. Because I'm at that age, mate, because there's only another 10 years where I just can wear suits all the time, even like going to the supermarket. Like, that's how old I am. Do you know what I mean? You know where you see like old guys, mate, just constantly wear a suit to the pub? That'll be me.
Yeah, you got proper shoes on with jeans and a shirt.
Yeah,
He is that guy.
Just that
Tweed.
guy.
Tweed.
yeah. So,
I can
yeah.
see it as well.
yeah, I know. You look like a fucking retired skateboarder.
Here's a question, right? If you were a football manager, what would your outfit be?
I'd be going like, as much as you said you hated him, Arteta, something like that. You know, where you got like a
Smart casual.
smart cash. Yeah, I won't go full suit, but I also won't go tracksuit. I think both of them.
I'd go full suit but no tie.
Interesting. What, 3-piece?
Yeah, I won't be one of them pricks like Tony Pulis who wears his fucking mum's tracksuit.
With a baseball cap?
Yeah.
When you say full suit, yeah, do you mean waistcoat as well, or just shirt?
Oh, not a 3-piece.
Yeah,
2-piece.
So, and what would you wear trainers with it, or would you wear shoes?
Shoes.
He's not style enough to wear trainers and a suit.
I'm not a monster.
Psychopath.
I don't like it when you see someone wearing a proper suit with some like bright white trainers or something. I think, fuck.
Anyways, sorry, we're on a pod. Hi, everyone. So this is
Talk about
actually...
dogs and weddings.
Yeah, I know. But
That took a weird turn,
Let's
didn't
not
it?
talk about divorces.
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, we can...
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll edit out anything that don't make sense, which is all of it.
1 second pod.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to do the intro for this one because I did the intro for episode 1, so over to you guys.
I'll do the intro.
Go on then.
So, Premier League season's back. If the Premier League season's back, that means fantasy football is back as well. We've all picked a team and we've all put in a tenner in a group
Yep.
in a fantasy football league.
How many groups do you guys get into though? Because I think it gets a bit.
I'm in 4 leagues at the minute.
Yeah, I'm in 2 paid leagues, and I think that's enough for me because you soon snowballs, don't you? Before you know it, you've spent like 50, 60 quid on leagues,
No.
knowing that you're not going to win absolutely a jot of it.
Firstly, I never spend, apart from this time, I never spend any money on fantasy football.
not?
No, but also, it comes to the point with fantasy football, gets halfway through the season, I think, do you know what, I can't be asked for
Yeah,
this.
you get bored.
No, I get so
I've been
bored.
in
I
a
never
few-
get bored of
I've
it.
been in a few leagues with you, and you do get bored around sort of March.
So do you?
Well, it's different though because if I'm in the running in a couple of my leagues for the top 4, I'll stay invested. But we've discussed this many times. If by Christmas I'm mid-table and more than 100 points off the top, it's game over because at that point everybody's picking the same players that are in form.
Yeah.
So you're very. I know you had a bit of a run last season where I think. March, you were averaging like 90 points for like all of March, and you did actually shoot up your
Yeah,
league.
I did. I went massively up last year, but it was still too late.
It's
though.
an anomaly, isn't it? It's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Do you know
It's
what?
just guessing.
It all depends on the structure of the league as well. What keeps it alive for me is what we normally have is highest game week, gets money. So there's every week there's something to play for, especially when there's a double game week. You think I might be nowhere near the top to winning it, but if I do a few transfers here, maybe even take a 4-point hit, or an 8-point hit, and you can get highest game week. There's a little bit of money there for you, so
Yeah.
it keeps it alive for people that are still not doing
Well,
right.
the actual fantasy team app calculates like your monthly points as well. So I think more people should do like a top monthly pair. So take 20 quid out the bigger pot every month. Whoever finishes top for the month gets 20 quid. It keeps you, and then that
Keeps
will
it
be
interesting.
going for April, May, even if you're not ready for the title.
So let's get into
Who's
fantasy-
going first?
let's
this
get
time?
into
I
fantasy
went
teams.
first with the Premier League table, so
Do you want
we'll
me to go first this time?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get your
so
squad on.
what the plan is, we're going to take you through our fantasy teams. Now, just be conscious that when we're filming this, it's 3 days before the start of the season. And
Things
normally,
are going to change.
normally people do not reveal their teams, do they? Like what I tend to find is
So if you
you don't see other people's teams until sort of half an hour after kick-off.
before you
on
reveal your
Saturday.
team,
Yeah.
you've got to reveal your team name.
Okay, so I revealed mine on the other pod, but
Yeah.
mine's called My Bets on Ivan Toney. So, interestingly, Matt,
I like it.
I feel like my name last year was better because, so I called mine last year inappropriate name, and the amount of people that came to me and was like, "Did you put an inappropriate name in?" And they've censored it out and put inappropriate name, and I was like, "No, that's literally the
That's
name
literally
of
what I
the
put.
But that's exactly the reaction I wanted.
Yeah,
so thank
exactly.
you very
Yeah,
much. Anyway,
Played right into your hands that one, didn't it?
So my bet's on Ivan Toney this year. I am like many things in my life. I am distinctly average at Fantasy Premier League. You know, I'm generally a mid-table player. There's a couple of I think I've won one league in the 6 years that I've played it. So, you know, I don't have a great track record. I tend to sort of average about 2,200 points a season, which puts me sort of in the top 6.
That's very specific.
Well, it's probably a bit less some seasons, a bit more. Weirdly, COVID season, everyone averaged about 1,800 points because you just could not figure that season out.
No,
'Cause
absolutely not.
no one was in form. Everyone had COVID.
True. It's true.
Anyway, we digress. So I'm going to quickly go through my team, and
How are you doing
start-
it? You doing first? You doing your 11, then your bench? Or are you doing your goalkeepers, then all your defenders? Then how are you gonna set it out?
Go 11 on bench.
Okay, so in goal, I've gone for Edison. Now it's always a toss up between Edison and Alisson. Last season, Liverpool wasn't defensively great, and all it takes is for them to concede one goal, and your keeper's essentially dead. It's 1 or 2 points in it from your keeper if you concede one goal. So Liverpool were leaky last season, even though they've probably got the best keeper in the league. So I've gone for Edison because I do think they've bought that left-sided centre-back, and obviously you've got Ruben Dias, John Stones. I do think they'll keep clean sheets.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I'll go on to my team as well, but it's not. You don't. You do obviously get good points for clean sheets, but it's not. Like you when you look at the end of the season, what your top goalkeepers are at, it's usually the ones in mid-table who have had to save
Loads of saves,
penalty saves, who have been under the cosh, but haven't conceded as well.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a weird
It's
one,
two
isn't it?
approaches,
Fair point.
isn't they? I mean, a couple of years ago, where Liverpool and City were conceding like 15 goals each all season, and Alisson and Edison were getting like 13, 14, 15 clean sheets, then you went for clean sheets. But now the Premiership's so attacking and everyone scores at least a goal. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to do that in depth for every single player. So I've got Edison in goal. I've got Estupinan from Brighton at right back, just because he's an attacking right back and might get me some assists, might even get me the odd goal. I've had to put in Alexander-Arnold. I mean, I'd have him in even if he was playing at right back because the guy's a freak assist machine.
Yeah.
100%.
So yes, he's 8 million, and yes, he's very pricey. But I think I had to find a way to get him in, so I've put him in.
Agree.
And I've probably put him in at the detriment to my bench. My bench, you know, I always feel like I go quite weak on my bench. Anyway, and then because of last season, I'm going with a back three for this weekend, and Kieran Trippier's made
Trippier's a good shout.
So I've got Estupinan, Alexander-Arnold and Trippier at the back.
Strong.
I've gone for 4 in midfield. I've gone for Saka. Wasn't great at the weekend in the Community Shield, but I think he's absolutely class, and I think he will score and assist. I've gone for quite an attacking midfield, so I've gone for Eze from Palace as well.
Yeah,
who
good shout.
He's a great player as well. It was a toss-up between him and Zaha, but Zaha's more expensive, weirdly. But
Zaha's
Eze-
gone.
Zaha's gone.
Has he gone? Okay.
Could be Elise though. Ezio or Elise.
Yeah, Elise is good.
He's
Yeah.
either of them two.
I
I wish you did put Zaha in.
Yeah, I know. 0
That'd
points.
have been good.
My other two midfielders are Gibbs White from Forest.
Yeah, good
So
shout.
I think
yeah.
I think he's absolutely class.
Just out of interest, what was his price?
I think he's about 7 mil.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at
That's
all.
not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And I think again, if Forest are playing the bottom half teams, I think they'll score goals, and I think he's involved in everything that's good about Forest.
Yeah.
And then my last one is a bit of a punt, but it's Soboslai because he was only 7 mil.
Yeah.
I think Sobslide do well. Set pieces.
He's attacking. He takes set pieces.
Yeah.
You know, he'll pick a pass. It might be a bit like, you know, the midfielders that create the chance, but they're not the ones that get the assist. So they might play
The
the
assist
pass
before
through-
the assist.
the assist before the assist. I think he might be a bit of that player, but we'll see.
He's got some goals in him as well.
Yeah.
So Zoboslai, Xhaka, Eze, and Gibbs White in midfield. Then I've gone for Brentford striker in the absence of Ivan Toney to save a bit of money. So it's Visa who plays up front for Brentford.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've had to put Haaland in.
You got it, haven't you?
And obviously Haaland's my captain.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, good shout. Yeah, talk about your captains as well.
So obviously Haaland's my captain. I think
Who's your Ben? Oh,
anybody last season who decided to go a bit rogue and take the captaincy off Haaland or not buy Haaland and buy Kane, I think they killed themselves by Christmas because he was a goal machine.
I can agree
you
with
do
that
something
because I
similar?
didn't. Yeah, so my approach last year was to go against the grain a little bit and go for the ones that were the least picked
To catch up.
to try and get a bit of a head start. And if they score points, someone else is getting them. That's great. But yeah, I didn't put Haaland in for the first 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, and by then he had like 100
and by
points.
that point,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
too far behind, and I put him back in then, and it was too late. So yeah, massive mistake. But
So Haaland's my captain, obviously. Now, normally I go 2 heavy, big, high-value players. Like I'll either try and get a De Bruyne and a Haaland in, or I'll try and get a Haaland and a Salah in. In previous years, I'd go for Mane and Salah. Do you know what I mean? I'd normally go 2 big players, but because I haven't gone for a cheap midfielder, my midfield is quite strong. I've only been able to get 1 big player in, so I haven't got Salah in my team, which I'm a bit gutted about.
So who's your forward?
Moving forward is Callum Wilson.
Good shout.
Now, I actually prefer Isaac at Newcastle. I think he's a better player, but I think Wilson will get more goals because he's more of a poacher.
Good shout. Yeah.
So Wilson and Haaland, like I say, it's a top 3 with Visser from Brentford. And then the bench is fairly weak. I've got Guita, Palace keeper, in goal as a backup keeper. He costs $4.5 million.
you've got to, if you backup keeper, you've got to go for
Saves.
someone that's really low value.
Yeah. I've got Tyrone Mings as my backup defender. You know, a Villa player, might get some clean sheets.
No, he's not bad. That might get some goals as well.
Yeah, he gets the odd header, doesn't he? I've got McAllister from Liverpool. He was only, he might correct me, he was only $6 million.
Yeah.
If he plays defensively, he's not going to get you a lot of points, so he might come out fairly quickly.
If he's the Brighton McAllister and he gets some assists as well,
Well,
could be shrewd.
Hopefully. And then I had like $4.5 million left, so I had to get Lamptey, who was a backup defender from Brighton.
Yeah, not bad.
And that's it.
Is Lamptey back from injury?
Well, he's not red on there, so yeah, he looks fit. Look, I think with anything this, before we go on to yours, Bull, is if you get off to a good start and you're in the mix come the international break, sort of early November, you tend to stay in it for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because by then everyone's got the top 20 players who are scoring the most points. But if I'm out of it by November, December, then yeah, I'll sack it off.
So
Just like his golf game.
Yeah, I won't card it.
So speaking of Saka, my team name is Saka Potatoes.
Nice.
Poor.
Very old manish.
I wanted some more, but I couldn't go
I
with
bet he googled that.
it. Yeah, I did. I was trying to think of funny
Most
team names.
popular names, please.
No, not most popular, just funny names.
Ask ChatGPT. Pick my team for me.
So in goal, I've got a few similar players to you.
Well, and we will.
You're good to
So
aren't you? Because some of them stand out.
Yeah.
In goal, my goalkeeper is Steele from Prem. I think he'll play.
Is your main
games.
keeper?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much cheaper was he then? Alisson, Edison, that type of keeper?
About 3 mil.
No, it can't be.
No, it can't be. The gap between top and bottom is like 2 mil. Like most of them are 4.5 or 6.
I don't know how much he was.
All right,
The
okay.
phone's over there.
If you don't know, just say you don't know.
I don't know.
Don't lie.
3 million.
I don't know.
Kid hell.
So anyway, I've got Estupinian,
Yep.
Alexander Arnold, same as you.
Great shout.
But I've got a back 4 of Sven Botman and Timber from Arsenal.
So you're hoping for clean sheets, mate, because they're not going to do a lot else then, to are they? Is
I don't know.
Botman bang the odd header in?
I think he'll
Centre
get
back, innit?
he'll
So
get the odd goal.
there's always the chance, isn't there? But
He scored
like you
well
say,
last season, didn't he? Because
Yeah, yeah.
Newcastle was a clean sheet machine
Yeah.
until about March.
And Timber, Arsenal's first game is Nottingham Forest at home. So if he plays, could be a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, see your logic, isn't it?
Midfield 3 is Eze, same as you. But I've got Bruno, not Bruno Fernandes,
Oh, that's fine.
and and Kevin De Bruyne.
I love Kevin De Bruyne, but he's injury prone at the minute.
Yeah.
And he's in and out, and Mr. fucking rotation Guardiola can kill you some weeks.
Honestly, yeah, picking City players is so difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, again, similar to Timber, first game is against Burnley away. If he plays and they score goals, he's going to get a couple of assists, isn't he?
I mean,
So could be off to a good start.
let's make no bones about it. Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the Premier League, but
Don't agree.
he's made of glass a little bit.
You don't agree?
You don't think De Bruyne is the best player in the Prem?
Who's the best player in the Premier?
What are you watching?
Emil Heskey.
Jimmy Traore.
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo Brown.
I think we'll probably discuss the best player in the Premier in another pod.
Yeah, okay.
And stuff, but I don't think he is. But we'll move on from that.
Let's get right into it now. Not right into it, but let's get into it now. Though, if Kevin De Bruyne is not the best player in the Premier League, who on earth is?
Yeah, I mean, you've got a weak shout at Mohamed Salah, but other than that, De Bruyne is head and shoulders for me anyway. You've got Haaland in the mix, but he's
No, I won't go. Yeah, I won't go Haaland. I mean, again, probably I'm being a bit biased, but I am thinking Big Mo. It depends what you want from a player.
I just don't think Mo's as influential as Kevin De Bruyne or as good a footballer.
Yeah, from a footballing perspective, De Bruyne is on another planet.
Yeah.
Go on, carry on.
Sorry.
De Bruyne fan club over here,
No.
fanboys everywhere.
So up front, I've got Isak from Newcastle.
Yeah, I love Isak. I
Such a
actually
good
prefer
player.
him.
He
He's a
didn't
good
seem to
player.
play a lot last year, did he?
Well,
Like,
he was injured though, wasn't he?
for
At the
big
start.
time.
They would interchange them both, so Isaac would start a game and then Wilson would start a game, and this was my problem when I picked, because you might find Isaac's benched not at weekend,
Yeah.
but then the next weekend they'll start Isaac and bench Wilson.
And they're both pretty injury prone as well. Like this. So I think they both had spells out last
yeah.
year where they were both out for a long period of time with injury. So you
Yeah.
just
But then my only other option around my only other option around 8 mil was Jesus, who's injured, and then you're either looking at buying a 12 mil striker or you're down to like strikers who you know are not going to score
it's slim
goals.
picking strikers, isn't it? I think it
Yeah.
was last year as well. So
So-
it was quite difficult.
So I've got Haaland
Obviously.
as well.
Captain,
Yes.
shout.
Well, he will be. I haven't changed it yet. And the other striker I've got is Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea.
Yeah, he'll play games early on.
Especially with that Nkunku out.
It reminds me of a mini Drogba.
That good. Where's he come from?
He was from Villarreal. Scored goals at Villarreal.
Yeah.
Very, very quick, very strong. So I think he could get them goals.
Yeah, I think if they put him up front, mate, yeah, because they're not
If he
going to play
gets the
Lukaku,
game,
are
yeah.
they?
No.
If he gets the games, mate, yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
a good shout.
And you look at the players around him. Sterling's around him. Mudrik's around him. Nkunku when he's fit's around him. They've got a decent forward line that he could get goals.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think it's a good shout to have him in.
So my bench is my subkeeper is Flecken.
Never heard of him.
Was he 4 mil?
I don't know.
You had no money left, did you?
From
I think-
from Brentford.
I think he was 7 mil less than Allison.
and
Did they give you money back when you picked him?
then I've got
Cheat code.
I've got Pau Torres.
Yeah, you talked about him earlier, didn't you?
Yeah. Like Pau Torres, good defender. Mateus Nunes from Wolves.
Okay.
Probably their best player now that
Yeah.
Neves has gone.
Yeah, this is shite bench, yeah.
really
And
bad,
Luis
isn't it?
Diaz.
Luis Diaz
Wow.
on the bench.
Yeah.
I think he'll play a lot of games this year. He looks
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Do you think he'll start ahead of what seems to be the starting front three, which is Gakpo, Jota and Salah?
I think it'll be. I think depending who we buy midfield wise, if we get any more, he seems to be playing Gakpo in the midfield three as well.
I think he'll play Gakpo as number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gakpo in pre-season and last season, he had him up top.
Yeah.
As
But
a number 9.
I think he'll play Gakpo as a number 8 and Jota as a number 9.
And
then
he played Jota in the middle up front.
yeah. And then he'll play Diaz or Nunes wide left.
Nunes.
Your favourite player.
I think for me it'd be Nunes, Salah, and Diaz up top with Gakpo behind. That's.
But no Jota.
I really like Jota.
It's Liverpool's strength, this, isn't it?
Yeah, that up
You've
top
got 5
you can,
players.
You can move them around, can't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
So
go
let's
on to mine
discuss
then.
Christian's winning team.
Yeah, what you said earlier, Chris. I have got no pedigree in FPL. Like literally, I think everyone thinks the same. But look at the team and go, "That is great." On paper, that team's not losing, and you get 20 points in your first week, and you
Yeah.
think, "Oh,
Fuck this.
I'm behind already."
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can't predict anything.
So, who was your captain, by the way?
I've not changed it yet.
You said Haaland, though.
It's going to be Haaland.
Is it?
But I've not changed it yet.
Who was your vice? Mine was Saka.
I don't know. I've not changed it. I just
right,
picked my
okay.
team.
Have you changed it?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I mean, like
As
I
I
said, these
said,
are
not
subject
changed
to change. It's still, it could change still. But so my goalkeeper, same when I went for last year. I'm pretty sure I did anyway. I've gone for Ramsdale again because
Okay.
I think he's like a cat.
Yeah, he saves loads.
He seems to be on saving everything.
Ramsdale's interesting, given the fact that Arsenal have just signed David Raya from Brentford.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand why they've gone for that, but I don't think he'll start.
Ray is a backup.
He's
all
got
day.
to be. You don't drop Ramsdale.
Is Raya not a better keeper than Ramsdale?
I don't think
so.
they've bought Raya to be competing for number one. I think they've clearly bought him to be a decent backup.
But then why would you pay 30 million, which is essentially what they're paying? Why would you pay 30 million for a backup goalkeeper?
How do you reckon Ramsdale's feeling right now? He managed to push out Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Imagine. But what a signing that would be.
Just hit his chin every save.
Oh, madness. Right, so defence. I've gone for a back three as well. I've gone for all wing backs.
Just great shout.
Because I always do that for defenders. I think you centre backs, you get your clean sheets and your odd goal, but realistically, they don't do anything else.
I bet Trent's in there.
Of course he is. Trent's definitely in there. Like you say, when he moved into that midfield role,
Yeah, you've got an extra midfielder this season.
he's got an extra midfielder. He's going to get more assists than he normally does. So for me, it's a banker.
It's a what?
Banker.
Oh, banker.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
didn't say you. I've gone for Tierney for Arsenal.
Never play, but
Why?
I like him.
I like him because I think if he stays fit, I think he gets in that team because I think he bombs. He's got energy. He bombs up and down that wing. If he stays fit,
he was fit last season. Didn't play.
He was injured quite a lot last
He's
season.
injured for quite a bit, but who's he getting ahead of if he plays? Like, who's he going to displace if he plays?
Well, it depends because they've obviously got this Timber who they're going to try and put out on the.
And Zinchenko.
Yeah, but Zinchenko didn't play loads last time. Yeah, I think it all depends if Timber hits the ground running with the Premier League, doesn't it, as well? So I don't know. I think he's in there because I think he will get games if he stays fit.
Timber might fall.
And
God's sake.
And if he gets games, Tierney will get the odd cheeky assist.
Yeah, I think so.
Tierney might leave and go to another Premier League team.
Yeah, also true.
So based on what you guys said, that you might think this back three is quite weak other than Trent, but I've gone for Lamptey as well because I think again if he stays fit,
Starting?
yeah. If he stays fit, because he was injured last season, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah,
but if he stays fit, he gets in that Brighton team.
Yeah, but isn't he in the same position as Estupinan? And that's why he don't play. He only plays when Estupinan's... Aren't they both right backs?
Is Lamptey right or left?
Oh, I don't
One
know.
of them's a right back and one of them's a left back.
I'm sure Lamptey's
yeah.
left,
Right,
isn't
okay,
it?
so they're not they're not competing.
No.
Right, okay.
But again, I think if he's fit, he starts. Look, this is where I get 20 points in the first game, mate, and I'm telling you. So, my midfield's strong, though. Well, I think it is.
Fucking needs to be.
Bruno G.
Yeah, got Bruno.
Quimares.
Yeah, I didn't want to try and pronounce it, thank you. I've gone for Big Mo.
Good
So
shout.
he's in there.
Interesting, yeah.
How much was he out of interest? 'Cause I never even looked.
He
About
is
12 and a half
12 and a half
10 million
mil.
less than Alisson.
12 of them.
Yeah.
Buy one, get one free.
I've gone for Maddison.
I
Spurs.
like Maddison.
Interesting shout.
I like Maddison.
Again, 7.5 mil for Maddison. I thought that was a pretty good shout. I think he's going to get assists this year. I think he'll play well in that squad.
I put Maddison in and took him out.
That's interesting.
I've gone for McAllister.
Good shout. Starting, yeah.
6 million starting in that midfield because I think, again, if he plays like he did again for Brighton last year, goals and assists are coming.
Do you think he plays advanced enough to be the assist, or do you think he's the assister of the assist?
It depends. With that midfield we've got at the minute, it could be anywhere.
either.
I ain't seen enough of him really to understand where he plays.
He can play as a 6 or an 8.
So he's quite advanced then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my last midfielder, I've gone for Trossard.
I like Trossard, but he's a sub at best playing the last 10 minutes of a game.
Yeah, he's not one of those starters. When you look at Arsenal's midfield, even Arsenal's forward line, Martinelli, Saka, Havertz, Jesus.
Again, it all depends on how they start the season, though.
Yeah,
we know
absolutely.
Havertz hasn't really been firing.
Trossard might be one of those players where you think, right, we've got a Champions League game coming up. We need to rest some players because we're playing Luton away. Let's play Trossard.
I think it's a decent shout because Arteta tends to rotate like Guardiola does.
Yeah.
So he does. I mean, in the Community Shield on Sunday, did Trossard come on with like 35 minutes left?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't his deflected shot go in or something to make it 1-1?
Yeah, did you? And I think even like you say, even if he comes on for the last 20, 25 minutes, you still get a feeling he's going to score, or he's going to assist, or he's going to do something with the ball.
Yeah,
so
but if he's only getting 20 minutes a game, mate, he needs to be bench at best.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
starting.
we'll see how he starts.
Yeah.
See if he gets started or not. Up top, Haaland, obviously.
Shout. Captain.
No.
What?
Gone for Vice.
What?
Who's your captain? Salah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's either or. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that you've got them both in, mate, no wonder the rest of your team is shite.
Add it to your bench.
And then I've got Visser up top as well.
Viscera. Fucking
What?
great shout.
That is what a link! What a link to the wrestling.
Big Daddy V.
And then on my bench, I've got Jay Leno. I actually have.
Have you got Leno?
Yeah.
Who's not going to play a minute because he's third choice? Oh no, has he moved?
He moved to
He's
Fulham.
moved to-
Yeah, he
Ev-
moved to Fulham
no.
about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I told you outside the top six, my
He moved
knowledge
to
is
Fulham-
shite.
He moved to Fulham in '98.
I mean, I think Leno's a good keeper.
I think he's pretty
He
solid.
did well last season there.
And like you say, when you go for your sub keeper, I mean, he's 4.5 mil. He's
Yeah.
down at the bottom, isn't he?
Who's,
So
who's your proper? Oh, Ramsdale's your
Ramsdale,
first
a
choice
proper
now.
one, yeah.
Do you know what? Right, it's all makes sense now. So, what's your budget? You start at 100 mil. He's got Haaland and Salah in for 80 mil, and it's left him 20 mil to find 14 players.
And then Trent's like 16
Yeah,
mil by
shit, he's got
himself as
Trent in
well.
there as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, mate, you've gone big from 3 players.
Who else on your bench?
And then I've got Ings,
Fair.
Mings, and Tings.
And Viscera.
Ings, Mings, and Cresswell.
D'Lo Brown.
Cresswell. You've
Yeah.
got Cresswell on the bench. Assist machine, free kick taker.
Again, this is where it might change. So I've been swapping and changing Lamptey and Cresswell for the last
Yeah, I'd have Cresswell in all day.
couple of games. But again, like you say, I could start this first game and there might be no points for Tierney and Lamptey because I don't play.
I'd get Lamptey.
None
I'd
for
get-
Trossard, and then 100
Yeah.
points for Salah.
I'd get
being
Lamptey out and get
captain, so-
Mings in.
Yeah, like you say, the people I've got on my bench.
You prefer wing backs, don't you?
Yeah, I prefer wing backs. The people I've got on my bench are probably more, apart from Ings, he's a bit of a bit part player, and he always has been. But
I prefer players that play.
Yeah, half your first team don't play.
Cresswell and Mings are more likely to play games, but are less likely to get big points, I think, than what I've got there. Look, this is why we're all different, guys, because we've all got different opinions on what our team should look like.
Do you know on our pilot pod where it was like, Bullis and Christian, you know, they can be more in depth about football? I take it all back.
I can. He can't.
No, exactly. That fantasy team is dregs.
What's your team name?
Are you going to do the same thing on this one? We're going to put the teams up as we're talking about it?
Yeah, I'll put them up for people to look at.
I think people should vote on who's got the worst team.
Agreed.
Yeah?
All 6 will vote. All 6 listeners will vote for your team as the
Well,
worst.
it can't because one of them are going to be me, so only 5 only 5 will
He's
vote
going
for
to
me.
go on, log in with a new account and vote for himself as the best team.
But yeah, I think that'd be good. Let's get some feedback because I don't think that's that bad actually. I think you're giving me an hard time here, lads.
I think it's fucking dreadful.
No, I think that, like you say, mate, if the regulars play well, you will have a good week.
Yeah.
Because after that, you've got no depth.
No. So what's your team name?
Oh yeah, team name. So my team name this year is Edison Volleys. Which I'm gonna like same. With
It's
what you
decent.
I think
yeah.
it's all right.
It's
But
all right.
My team name last year was much better. Do you remember what it was?
I can't remember it now.
Okay.
My tip in Diaz.
Oh
Yeah, that is decent, yeah.
So I preferred that one, but I should have gone with that one again. But I went for a change. I don't like going for the same name 2 years in a row. But,
Yeah.
but that's it. So that's my squad as well. So I can't wait to look at this with optimism come Saturday, and then by Monday,
Yeah.
just want to quit.
I can't wait for the first 4 weeks for me to go 27 points, 31 points, 29 points, 14 points, and be 80 points off the top of the league.
Sacking this off, not carding it anymore.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
counting it anymore, yeah.
So I think I know we've finished like the fantasy football talk,
Yeah.
and this might be a different pod, but you know,
I think we whizzed through that as well, so
Yeah.
I reckon we've done about half an hour on the pod.
Yeah.
So let's branch off, see what else.
who is going to be either A, player of the season, or B, a surprise of the season that you don't expect. Some player or some team or some manager will kick on and you don't expect them to kick on. Or,
what
or
you class as
surprise
like
you.
player of the season, the top goal scorer, or
No. Who will be the best player of the season?
again, it's hard to say that because it depends what you base it on.
I mean, if he stays fit, Kevin De Bruyne. But he's got to stay fit, and
Even-
I don't think
even
he's
now?
fit. Even what?
Even now?
What do you mean even now? One day before the start of the season?
No. Because you're saying
No.
that Pep's going to rotate and he's 32, 33, so is he going to play every week?
I mean, even if even if he plays 70 minutes and then he gets subbed off to sort of preserve him, I think he does enough in those 70 minutes to be fucking player of the year.
No, I agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll play he certainly won't play every Premier League game this season.
I think you could say that about anyone in the City team, though, can't you? Because they rotate so much that apart from Edison, for example, who will pretty much start every game, everyone else is going to be rotated in some capacity. But I get what you're saying with his... Look, whether he's... I think the age of footballers these days is getting older and older, isn't it, in terms of what they can do on the pitch. And I think he's probably still got at least two to 3 years maybe left in him before he gets well past his best. So
I'm going to throw a name out there for player of the season. Rodri.
I mean, I think Rodri's world class.
I'm not sure he can be a player of the season at DM, though.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say.
Claude Makelele could.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't think DM is like Hollywood enough to get voted as player of the year, no matter how good you are. Don't get me wrong, he's world class.
Oh yeah. Different
best player in his position. Great in the Champions League final.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Haaland again. I think just because he's gonna score maybe not as many goals as he scored last year, because I think that was just unbelievable.
And he's gone 8 games without a goal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
including the Community Shield, he's gone 9 games without a goal.
Are you counting friendlies in that?
No, I'm counting the last 7 games of the Premier League season.
He scored that many at the beginning. He didn't need to.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he'd have kept going though?
I know.
He'd have got like 40 odd goals in a season.
I was going to say, I think he'll go one of 2 ways. He'll either score more goals or he'll score considerably less goals.
I think that because what did he end up on last year?
Like 36 goals.
36, 37.
That's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not going to do that. It's like when Salah had that freak season and scored like 60 goals and like 32 in the Prem and loads in the Champions League. I think Haaland will get you 25 goals next season.
Yeah.
He'll have a dip.
Yeah, I don't think he'll repeat what he did this season, because I think people have now... I mean, he's a freak. He's a physical freak, but people start to figure you out. Like, people started to figure out that if they keep Salah on his right foot...
Yeah, he does nothing with it.
10 times less likely to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And people will start to figure Haaland out a little bit. They'll start to fucking drop off him, defend deeper, whatever. I'm not a fucking professional footballer, but they'll figure him out. They'll start to figure out a way to manage him.
I mean, Arsenal did it. I know it's only the Community Shield. Arsenal did it in the Community Shield, but then Liverpool did it in the Community Shield to him last season, and he went on an absolute tear.
Yeah, but you've got to bear in mind that Guardiola, the way he does his pre-season is Man City are 2 weeks behind all the other Prem teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of fitness and match sharpness, because he brings them back much later than all the other Prem teams.
Yeah.
So I don't think Community Shield's a barometer.
So I'm gonna throw out there a surprise of the season, and my surprise of the season. D'Lo Brown. My surprise of the season is a manager.
How many goals is he getting?
4. My surprise.
Ballon d'Or coming up.
I'll tell you why he's going to be surprised of the season. I think he's going to be surprised of the season because I think he's going to leave his club and go to a bigger club, and that is Roberto De Zerbi from Brighton.
Who's he going to go to?
I could see him going to Tottenham because I don't think Tottenham's manager is going to last.
I reckon Tony would bet on this.
Tony would bet on this.
Absolutely.
But firstly, Roberto De Zerbi's a class manager and would fit in at any top 6 club without question.
I don't know who he is.
Brighton's manager.
Yeah, I know you said that, but I still don't know who he is.
How do you not know who he is? Brighton's fucking manager.
Couldn't you say about?
I couldn't pick him out of a line out.
But how good was Graham Potter at Brighton? Then he went to Chelsea and
Mate,
Chelsea,
Chelsea's a shambles of a football club.
That one Graham Potter's sad. That one his transfers. That one nothing, was it?
And they changed owners. They had the whole Abramovich thing as well. The owners didn't want Graham Potter.
Can you imagine if you're Graham Potter though? Go to Chelsea, right? You're manager for like 16 games, and then you walk off with like £8 million worth of compo.
Oh yeah,
great move in the end of the
yeah, of course it was.
Well, I saw a stat once where Mourinho has negotiated that many compensation deals when he's been sacked by so many big clubs that he's got like £60 million in compo across all them.
Conte was the same.
Conte's not daft either, is
No,
he?
of course he ain't. Do you know the thing is as well with Chelsea? Staying on Chelsea for a minute. there was an absolute shambles last season. So they had a good manager in Tuchel. Then they brought in a good manager in Graham Potter who didn't get the time and didn't get the money. Most of the players that they brought in January, he didn't want. And then they sacked him and they brought in Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I know they've brought in Pochettino now. Pochettino's even come out and said in the press they need to sort the transfer policy out because a lot of those players that they're getting, he doesn't fucking want. So who's running the football club?
This is the issue we've got though by recruiting a manager like Pochettino or Mourinho or that. Oh, they want complete control.
Yeah.
And in modern football now, very rarely do you have complete control. You've got technical advisors, you've got sporting directors, you've got all this shit.
I think you've only really got 3 managers in the Premier League who've got complete control over their football club, maybe 4.
Well, it's like when you look at it as well, don't you? And it pops up and says head coach. So
Yeah.
some people say manager, some people say head coach. So the different roles out there in different clubs, and like you say, the people that are head coaches don't have any say in anything. But people who are managers, they have much more respect, much more control. They get a bit more of a say in terms of what happens at the club and how it's ran.
Yeah, what have you got? You've got Guardiola and Klopp. Who was you on about else who you think has more control?
Ten Hag.
You think he has
I think
as
he's
much control as Klopp and Guardiola?
I don't think he's got as much
Right,
control,
okay.
but I think he's got full run of Man United to City.
Do you?
Yeah,
He's done well there then.
not necessarily from an owner standpoint, but from how he wants the club to run and how he wants.
Do you think they're buying the players that he wants?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He wanted Onana.
I get where you're coming from.
He wanted Højlund. He wants someone else, and that's why he's having to sell players to get them. And I think the other one is Eddie Howe at Newcastle. I think he's got full running of that football club
No.
to City. I think he has in a way that
I'll tell you what, right? If, whatever reason, if Newcastle play the first 6-7 games of the season, right, and then win 1 game, draw a couple and lose 3 or 4,
I think he's gone.
I think they'll fuck him off.
Really?
I think he's in the hot seat because he's doing that first phase that Mark Hughes and Stuart Pearce did at Man City.
I was just about to say the same
It's just
thing.
seeing through the first phase.
Yeah.
Whatever they get is a bonus.
I don't even think, regardless of performance, I think eventually Newcastle want a big name manager
Yeah.
to take that club on.
But what
and
big
Eddie's
name-
not that. He's classed at what he does, but he ain't that big name manager.
what big name managers are out there?
Probably fucking Conte will come back.
Yeah.
Which is
Mourinho.
dregs.
Mourinho.
Which is dregs.
Yeah, but it's a name, isn't
Diego
it?
Simeone.
It's a name.
Simeone's different.
Ancelotti.
Yeah, Ancelotti.
Ancelotti's going to Brazil.
Is he?
Yeah, so he's finishing up his Real Madrid contract and going to manage Brazil.
Is he? What, the national team?
Yeah.
Great shout.
What other team?
A Brazilian club team.
He's just going to manage Brazil, not a Brazilian club team.
Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro,
You can't just name cities in Brazil.
Seville.
But I don't think there's, apart from Klopp and Guardiola and the odd 1 or 2 others, I don't think there's any big name managers out there anymore.
There's big name managers, but there's managers that have got the name but haven't got. I suppose it's like when a player gets to a certain level, don't they, where they've got that status behind them, they've got the trophies, they've got the name, but they can't still perform at that level anymore.
Yeah, and then so
but they're still a big name.
yes, but then so all right, so if you
Ronaldo, for example, in the Saudi League, still a big name, but he's not.
Here's a
performing.
question for you, which might be along the lines. So, I think Klopp and Guardiola have got to the stage where they're almost bigger than the club.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is not bigger than the club. No one's bigger than the club, but
I know what you mean though.
bigger than the team or the biggest player in that team. So if let's say Guardiola and De Bruyne fall out and Salah and Klopp fall out, I think Salah goes and De Bruyne goes.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
other clubs, if a fucking Chelsea manager falls out with the star player at Chelsea, the manager goes.
Yeah.
And I think
Agree.
that's why Klopp and Guardiola are on another level.
But then so what I was going to say was, you're talking about top managers, you're talking about, Mourinho or Conte, you're talking about someone else. If Jurgen Klopp leaves Liverpool, you wouldn't want Mourinho or you wouldn't want Conte.
You wouldn't want them, no, because they're nowhere near the level of
And I'm not-
Klopp or Guardiola
And I'm
as they are
not
now.
saying you want Eddie Howe, but what I'm saying is that Mourinho's had his time. Mourinho's time was 2004 to 2012. arguably 5, 6, 7, 8 years past his sell-by date.
Well, he's just done a right job at Roma. They won the fucking Europa League with him, with the fucking mid-table squad.
Yeah, but it's the fucking Europa League.
Yeah, but he had a Europa League team.
So you'd expect him to win it?
I wouldn't be surprised if Mourinho came back and did some sort of run at another big club.
Who? Who is there that he ain't
Who is
burned
the
the
left
bridge?
they ain't got sacked from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where's he not burned the bridge?
Barcelona. Can you imagine if Mourinho went to Barca?
I could see it.
I mean, yeah, I don't think he's got any loyalty to
He's got
anyone.
no loyalty. At all,
he's
no.
a mercenary.
He might go do Portugal, the national team.
Yeah. Not a city.
I've got a
not
controversial
Braga.
one for you lads anyway.
Go on then.
So, talk about Pep. I absolutely believe Pep is a really good manager. He's obviously really high profiled, arguably the best manager in the world. But has he ever been really tested with a squad or a team that he can really showcase that?
Do you know what? Right, it's a totally different question because he's only been at clubs where it's got unlimited resources and world-class players coming out of his ears, right? But top players don't necessarily mean that you're going to create a dynamic where you go on to do incredible things. Like, I mean, Chelsea are a prime example. Last season, they spent 500 million, got really good squad on paper, and they were shite, right? So I get what you're saying. Like, if Guardiola went to manage Burnley, would he win the Premier League? No, he wouldn't, because of the resources and the restrictions around that football club.
But it'd elevate those players.
I think he would elevate the players. I think he's changed the game. I think he's completely changed the way everybody plays, every team. Do you know what Guardiola's superpower is? How does he manage to keep 25 world-class players happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're a world-class player, you can go anywhere and get that money, right? If you're a world-class player, you want to play 90 minutes every week, right? And for some reason, he manages to retain 24, 25 world-class players.
Yeah.
Like, in the last few seasons, you've had a bit of a grumble from Bernardo Silva about wanting to play more minutes. And then, obviously, Gundogan's left because he's run out of contract. But everyone else, mate, other than Cancelo, went to Bayern because Guardiola
Fell out.
won. Yeah. He fell out Guardiola wins.
Yeah.
How does he keep world-class players happy in that setup when everyone wants to play every minute?
I think as well as a player, if you had the choice of playing for Guardiola in a team that's winning, that has got a chance of winning everything that's available to them, but you're only playing half a season, or you're playing a full season for a team that, for I don't know,
Liverpool.
Well, yeah, same thing, same pull. I think
I'd rather play for Klopp than Guardiola.
I would much rather play for again.
I was just about to ask, who would you rather play for,
Klopp.
Jurgen Klopp or Guardiola, and why?
His hugs look good.
I just want a hug.
Just want a hug.
Just give me a hug.
I'll give you a hug.
No, Klopp hug.
Fuck you then.
But I think that's why people play for City, because they've got a really good manager, a really good system, they win games, and they're happy to play
Yeah.
less games than they would at another club because of that.
If you're not playing every game, but your team's winning and you're pretty much guaranteed a medal, you're happy.
Yeah, of course you are, and you got good money.
Yeah, but let's take Phil Foden last season. For the last half of the season, Grealish got ahead of him and Foden barely played any minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Are you satisfied that you won the treble if you're Phil Foden, or would you feel like you was a bit of a bit part player in that treble and you didn't really make a massive contribution to it?
I think Phil Foden needs to leave Man City.
I mean, I don't.
The only reason I say he needs to leave Man City is exactly the argument what you just said. If he's a bit part player at Man City and he's, 22, 23 years old, whatever he is, early 20s, you want to play every week. You want to play week in, week out.
Equally with Guardiola will have no qualm in. If Grealish has 3 or 4 bad games, he'll get dropped for 10 games, and then all of a sudden Foden's in for 10 games.
No, exactly, but 10 games isn't a full season, is it?
No, it's not, but I'm saying, like, Foden played next to nothing in that big, massive run-in. And if I sat there with 3, it's a bit like fucking, who's the third choice keep? Scott Carson.
Scott Carson.
Like, your medals mean nothing.
But this is what I mean. So if you're Phil Foden, you're early 20s, and he's meant to be the future of English football, you want to play week in, week out. Whether that's Man City, whether that's whoever it is. Because if Phil Foden goes up for sale for Man City, there is not a club in the world that wouldn't want him.
Yeah, but where would he go?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, because as an English player, for me, I want to be in the Prem.
He'll want to stay in England.
Yeah. I think he's too young to go abroad. He might have
Too young to go abroad.
Yeah, I think he might have a desire to go play Madrid or Barca or whatever at some point in his career. But if I'm a young English player, and this is what I was a little bit surprised with Bellingham a little bit. I know obviously Liverpool pulled out of that pursuit, but as a young English player, I'd want to come and play in the Prem and hone my trade in the Prem. And where does he go? If he leaves Man City, where does he go?
I don't think it defines you if you're an English talent playing in the Premier League or you're playing in the top team somewhere else.
Yeah, but other than going to Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Bayern, right, where you guarantee titles and stuff and you guarantee Champions League football, for an English person, there's no huge draw to go abroad, and that's reflected in how many people have actually gone abroad. You can count them on one hand. You've got Bale, Owen, McManaman, Lineker, Bellingham, Sancho. You've got like six top end players.
That's different, though, isn't it?
Jonathan Woodgate.
That's different with the Sancho.
Yeah, started in Germany, didn't he? Did he start in Germany?
No,
Sancho?
he started in Man City.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was never a player like
Kid.
Foden that's in the squad, super talented at that particular point.
But then
He left to get that
But then
opportunity.
you look at Bellingham. Borussia Dortmund took Jude Bellingham from Birmingham,
Yeah.
from Championship, and they put him straight into their first team.
But you would make that move if he was a Birmingham player in the Championship.
Yeah, but you would also make that move if you're a. I'm not saying Phil Foden's average by any stretch of the imagination. If you're a squad player, and you know you're going to be a star player at someone like Dortmund or someone
Arguably,
like
he's already
Bayern.
a star player though, Foden.
Yeah, to us he's a star player. If he's a star player to Pep Guardiola, why is he not playing every week?
Do you think that Foden would go to Dortmund?
No.
I'm not saying Dortmund. I was using Bellingham as an
But then-
example. I'm using a squad player as an example.
I think this is another thing that's really good about Guardiola as well. I think he's nurturing a young talent in terms of not going, you're a star player, you're playing every week and getting too big for your boots. He's grounding him in a way that's going, you've got a future in this squad, you're a quality player, but also I'm not going to let you play every single game.
Do you know who I think will be a bigger player than Phil Foden?
Just before we go off Foden, do you remember when Foden was 18, 19 and there was like Foden's, young talent, why is he not going out on loan? Why don't you loan him out so he can get some experience? And Guardiola was like, experience? Why would I loan him out to another club when he's playing here with world-class players day in, day out,
world-class
training?
facilities.
Yeah. He's like,
I agree.
he'll be fine. So I just think he can't go anywhere. But City, I think he's a bit stuck.
I think Cole Palmer.
I like Cole Palmer.
I think Cole Palmer will have a bigger impact this season than Phil Foden.
That's a big shout.
No,
that.
let me explain why. Cole Palmer plays in the same position that Riyad Mahrez plays. Riyad Mahrez is gone. So there's really only in that position now Bernardo Silva.
I was going to say, but Riyad Mahrez has gone because he hardly played last season because Bernardo Silva almost played every minute.
Yeah, but then, so Mahrez played in big Champions League games. And he's, 30 years old?
Yeah.
Pep sees Cole Palmer doing well in England under 21s, sees it is an English kid, and he's going to give him game time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original point is I think Guardiola's the best at managing expectations of players. He does it better than anyone else.
So back to the other question. You both said you'd rather play for Klopp over Guardiola.
Yeah.
Why?
It's the Klopp effect. I don't think you can quantify it, but I think we're a little bit biased as well because obviously that means we'd be playing for Liverpool.
That's true.
So that
I think that's a
plays
massive
huge
pull
factor.
on it. But some of my mates, they absolutely despise Klopp. They don't
Do
like
they?
him. They don't like his mannerisms. They don't like the way he acts. They don't like all that type of stuff. And I can
Jealous.
get it. As if I wasn't a Liverpool fan, maybe I would feel very similar. But I am very biased because what he's done with that squad when he came, and what he's built, and what he's got now, and the things he's done for that club. You can't help but admire that. And for me, it probably is a little bit biased, but I would rather play for Klopp.
I feel like Klopp is more amiable in the sense of he's the guy who puts your arm around you, builds a friendship with you, but still maintains that boss relationship.
And I'd rather go out for a beer with Klopp.
Pep-
I feel like he'd be better on a night out.
Pep's very much is like the modern day Alex Ferguson, isn't he? Quite authoritarian. Quite, look, you're fucking doing this, and if you don't do it, you're out playing. Whereas Klopp's like, come on, let's have a chat about it. Completely different. The chalk and cheese people.
Klopp's got a glint in his eye though, where if you fucking crossed him, I
Oh, yeah.
reckon you'd
It's
be
like Gurn,
fucking
innit?
Yeah.
you'd be swiftly fucking deceased.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'd be out of the football club before you knew it. Like, I'll give you an example. Who was that young kid who fucking tweeted about not getting game time at Liverpool, and he was fucking swiftly gone?
Oh, it was
The guy who scored the winner against Newcastle last season in the 96th minute. Young kid. He's a young Portuguese kid.
Carvalho.
Yeah.
Carvalho, yeah.
Gone. Tweeted his mate about something about someone said, oh, it's so-and-so, oh, you've gone to get your hair cut. And he was like, yeah, I'm not doing anything else at the minute. Like, insinuating that he's not playing and he wants to play. Gone.
Yeah, fucked
Put
up,
on loan,
fucked
ain't
up to Leipzig on loan.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you probably could do with him now
Yeah.
as a squad player.
Yeah.
So another question then. So going back to my original around Guardiola, you take Guardiola out of that team, out of that Man City team, put another manager in there, an average manager. Do they still win the league?
They're never going to get an average manager, are they?
No, but I'm just saying if they did, if you put, I don't know, Sam Allardyce in there, are they still winning the league?
No.
Do you honestly think that's how big the effect is?
No, but then you can't put Sam Allardyce and Pep Guardiola.
I'm not comparing the managers. I'm just saying that squad.
So all right, so if you
You put him there. What impact does it have?
So I reckon if you put that, if you say an average manager who played, let's say Vincent Kompany, similar style. I'm just thinking of a style. If you put Vincent Kompany as a manager at Man City to replace Pep Guardiola, they'll still get top 4.
Yeah, but
That's different to winning,
that was
though,
the question,
isn't
wasn't it? Are you going to retain the same level by keeping the same players, or is the manager that important?
I think it's 50-50. I think the manager is just as important as retaining the players.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong. I reckon if you took Guardiola out and they didn't replace him all season, and the players had to govern themselves and put themselves in a team and formation and way of playing, they'd probably still finish top 4, but they won't win the title.
No, probably
No,
won't
because
win the
they'll
title.
need that. They need that direction. But
Yeah.
I still think you put a mid-table manager in that team, they still win the league.
So
They win
if you
the league.
put
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
put David Moyes in there or Eddie Howe in there, they'd still win the title.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
I'd probably say that
The
I've got a
squad's
chance
that
of winning out.
talented.
yeah. If it was 3 years ago where Liverpool was so close to them and you took Guardiola out, Liverpool would have won 3 titles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, isn't it? It's that
Yeah.
winning mentality because he's been at Barcelona, dominated. Been at Bayern Munich, dominated.
Yeah.
Went to Man City, dominated.
Yeah.
And he's done that.
I think potentially when Guardiola does hang up his boots or go manage Spain or take a sabbatical like he has said he wants to do at some point, he wants to take a break, I think you'll see a similar level of drop off that you saw when Ferguson left United.
Yeah. And when Wenger left
I
Arsenal.
think he's that important. I think he's that big to that football club.
But then I also think you'll see the same when Klopp leaves Liverpool.
Oh, 100%.
Oh God, when that day happens, I'm having like a week off work.
I'd snap your hand off of Simeone though.
Would you?
Yeah.
I
He's
would.
a bastard, isn't he?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would,
and you hate him right now, but you'd love him at your club, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'd prefer Julian Nagelsmann.
Yeah, but he's a fucking tinker, man, like the rest of them. And everyone's the same, look the same and feel the same now, aren't they?
The thing is, though, as far as Simeone's concerned, Atletico Madrid play shit football.
Yeah.
They are dreadful to watch. And if that comes to Liverpool and you're sitting there as a Liverpool fan and you think this is fucking boring, you won't want to watch them.
Yeah, but we didn't play great at the football last season.
Yeah, but there's variables in that in there.
There is variables, and if he comes and says, defend to the death and win every game 1-0, I think it would get old.
It's constant shit football with Simeone, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's just quite entertaining to watch.
Oh, he
Because
is.
he's a cunt.
Oh, yeah.
But going back to what you said earlier, if they did leave, I wouldn't know what manager I'd want. Like
Yeah.
I can't think of another manager out there that I'd be like, that's good. That's a good
and
replacement.
that's the thing.
And that's how those two are so above anybody else.
Where
Do you know what's sad? I reckon Gerrard might get the job.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
No, me neither.
Emotionally, I would, but I just don't think he's ready yet.
And that's the thing, though. Where are your world class? Apart from Ancelotti, where are your world class managers? Do you used to reel off?
Phil Neville. Karen Neville.
Eddie Neville,
Is it Karen?
Neville Longbottom.
Tracy Neville. Fucking Karen
big,
Neville.
Big Trace.
Maybe fucking Karen Neville's with fucking Visser and Jay Leno.
What a squad!
Great squad. Great bench.
What a five-star team.
Fucking great bench.
But then, apart from Ancelotti, your top 3 managers in the world, in my opinion: Ancelotti, Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
Yeah, but listen, time changes, right? We'll be sat here in 5 years' time shooting episode 2004, right? And they'll be long since gone and retired, or they'll be managing national teams, and there'll be 3 managers who you're like, I can't imagine anyone else outside of these 3. Like go back 10 years, you couldn't imagine anyone other than Ferguson, Mourinho.
Yeah.
And now you're like, it's
Wenger.
Klopp and Guardiola. Yeah, and Wenger. And now it's Klopp and Guardiola because they've gone. Time is a constant.
Mate, I won't lie to you.
Oh, God, we're getting deep now.
Jesus Christ.
So we're getting late.
If I'm sitting here in 5 years' time, we've got fucking problems.
Yeah, we might have a different set.
Definitely. Anyway, lads, that's enough.
Might have to travel.
That's
Need to
enough
sort the
shit
backdrop
chatted, isn't it, today? And I think next time we meet is on the golf course on Sunday, and then off to go watch Liverpool-Chelsea, aren't we?
Do you know what we need to do? We need to, for the pod, we need to get the old phone filming some of our golf shots and stuff just for banter.